probably come and go, because I tend to talk off-piste, so I might be walking around a bit, so if I'm in and out, bear with me. There is an incredibly powerful tool right in front of you. Close your eyes for a minute. Open your eyes and look around the room. Look at each other. All of us are giving incredibly strong, innate signals about how we feel at the moment, just by the way you're sitting. I'm getting a lot of signals from all of you as I look at you as to whether or not you're engaged with what I'm saying or you're thinking this is boring as hell. In Western culture, we have had the long-standing belief that our mind and our body are two separate entities. But in fact, they are intrinsically linked. You can't dissociate one from the other. What happens in your mind is masked and mapped in your body. And it is such an underutilized tool. How many managers are there here? Hands up. How often do you look at your staff? How often do you walk through a department and see how they're sitting, how they're moving, how they're walking? The power in engaging with that and the things you get from that are incredible. I have a thing called the Wendy walkthrough, which I will tell anybody about later on. It gives me huge amounts of information that I can offer. I told you this would come and go. That I can offer. I'm going to take it off. It's easier. That I can offer to clients just by looking and observing. Your attitude affects your behaviours. Your emotions create an attitude which create a behaviour. And that behaviour is then mapped in how we move, how we are in the office and at home. Very, very, very powerful for us to utilise that. When you're scared, what happens inside you? And you want to tell me? What happens when you're fearful or you're scared? Yeah, you get tight. Your vocal cords tighten up. Your sort of stomach gets knots. You get things happening physically all the time. When you're anxious and stressed, what happens?
Shallow breathing.
Shallow breathing. What else happens?
Sweaty palms.
Yeah, sweaty palms. We get tight, we get tense. Why do we get tight and tense? Because naturally the body is saying you're going to run away or fight. Because adrenaline and cortisol flood into the body to say, I'm really out of my comfort zone. What can I do about this? Oh, I'll just move away from it as quickly as possible or I'll fight it. How many of you get up and do that in the office? How many of you, when you're stressed, think, oh, punch him? You might feel it. Do you do it? Do you get up and run away? No, we don't. And what tends to happen is those hormones then affect us in a very negative way, affect our well-being, and potentially can cause ill health. Now, it seems a sort of airy-fairy thing, body language in the office. But it is an absolute key principle for leaders and managers to be more observant, to feel what's going on, and to take that on board, because they'll learn so much more about their staff. So if we think about it in context of organisations, we've heard from 6 speakers so far who have all talked about different aspects of the workplace. Appraisals. Do they make you feel good? Do they make you feel bad? Do they make you feel enthusiastic, motivated? Yeehaw, it's my appraisal time. Yes, I'm going to really love this. Or do they make people feel anxious? Do they make people tense through their muscles? When your muscles are tense, what happens is you get an oxygen deficit. It affects your concentration and your motivation. The minute somebody's stressed, they underperform. Potentially then go on to be ill and take time off work. Targets. Do we think, oh great, I've got 6 things to do by 2 o'clock tomorrow, I can't wait. Or do we think, oh God, I'm never going to manage. What happens? Creates all those tensions in the body, which you can see. You only need to look around. A good leader, a positive manager, a good environment, an organisation that says, I'm a great organisation and I'm happy to be there, will be on visible display to anybody that walks through it. I'd be really interested to see, you were mentioning about happiness and John Lewis, I'd be really interested to see the body language and the environment that is created and the people that are walking around there. Likely that because of that involvement and that happiness, what does that offer in customer service?
No, as good as you take them.
Well, it will be better than somebody that's unhappy. Somebody that's happy and motivated, enthusiastic, hopefully should offer more energy to that output. hopefully. Yeah, I'll just have a wee look here. Positive emotions, what they do. If you're happy, what happens is you breathe far more, you expand your breathing, you relax your muscles, and you move in a much more fluid way. That affects your mind. Your mind and your physiology are intrinsically linked. If you're fed up, you're stressed, you can't be bothered, what happens to your body is it does the same. Can't be bothered, stressed. What can you do to change that? Can you get any ideas?
Think happy thoughts.
It sounds pretty feeble.
It's true.
But you can actually do something even more than that. You can do something physical, stick a pen in your mouth. What does a pen do? It forces your face into a position of smiling, which ironically might make you laugh. And laughter is one of the immediate physiological effects to suppress cortisol and adrenaline that actually creates the tension in your muscles. Huge effect. So the physical and the psychological, I can't see the cards, the physical and the psychological, very intrinsically linked. So I'm going to finish with a couple of thoughts. Look around the room. See who you think looks energized, enthusiastic, motivated. See who you think looks a bit, oh God, what's she on about? Finish her, get her off. Had enough. And I invite you to embrace that more. Use your emotional intelligence. Use your human instincts in the workplace. You will learn huge amounts about your staff. I can't underplay that. And it can have a direct effect not only on you, but on those around you. What you perceive and how you perceive things, you project onto others. And I'll finish there.